Welcome back to Universal Journey Talk, part 2 of episode 7.
There is no actual sky. It's all,
Why do you think there's no sky? Why couldn't there be a sky?
I'm just going by one of the ones that I saw. I mean, would you like to add to it? Because that's pretty much what I got. The only thing. Well, okay. Yeah, Eric, let's hear what you have to say, and I'll make some other points later.
Because remember, many theories that there's a sun in the center. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just like remember, even now, there's things that don't make sense. Like Ian was saying, I can say this doesn't make sense. There's even right now with everything we know that is factual right now, still doesn't make sense to me. It'd be like this, like Ian's talking about a hole that they dug in Russia. You know what I mean? About the size of Manhattan. You get down there in that one area. Now I don't know unless they dug from every angle on the planet to make it conclusive that the planet's hot, but they dug one hole in one location.
I agree. It's only one hole. A different hole might have different results. I agree.
So I'm saying, if I was an alien or somebody that didn't come from this planet, and I just came down here and I landed in Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona, and at the time it was 95 degrees, I don't know if I could sit there and go, I may think, hey, come to Earth. It's nice and hot. But that doesn't mean that's in that location. I can't say the whole planet's 95 degrees. You know what I mean? Because there's other parts. If you land somewhere else in Alaska, I'm going to be saying, hey, you got to come to Earth, man. It's freezing.
So then hence we have the problem. So then we're saying that the core would have to be different temperatures on different sides emanating outward, because if you're saying, otherwise it can't be a sun, right? Because otherwise, as you get closer to heat, we get hotter, right? So I like that theory, but that's also disproving the fact that there could be something in the center of the Earth that's a sun.
Well, check it. In the center, we'll say there's a sun. You know what I mean? But like Kirk said, remember, there would be layers. There would be so many layers because just on where we are on Earth, like Kirk said, to just 70 miles to the sky. Now we're talking way beyond just to the center, layers within layers. So that would be like one layer still be 70 miles within length, just like we are to the sky. So if I start digging, there could be a whole surface from after, let's say, one layer that you dig, let's say 70 miles, you know what I mean? But then there could be a whole 70 miles that's just open space. You got air, you got the atmosphere, and then you can dig from that down another 70 miles, and it'd be a whole nother, you know what I mean? And the thing is, it'd be like this. For those of us that, believe we went to the moon or out in space, my thing is it'd be like, well, regardless of digging into the ground, it gets hot, right? And it'd be, if we're going to use a theory, how could, someone survive that? My thing is, how could somebody go into space? Anybody know? There's a giant ring of fire. You can only go so far through the stratosphere and keep going before you'll burn up. Yeah, but we don't really, we just assume, all right, well, but we're going to space. But anything you see, once you get through that atmosphere, you burn up. Like, you know how hot that is? But apparently we do it, right? You know what I mean? So I couldn't say that.
I don't think that this is correct on that, though. Because going and penetrating quickly through a hot environment is one thing. Penetrating through it, and then there's a limit to how far you can go, and having to exist there now, that's a whole different thing. They're not existing in the atmosphere. They're going punching through it.
We don't know how many layers.
Eric, I can take a torch. I can light a torch and go like this. Go right through. It won't burn me because I went through so fast. Proven fact. Speed matters. And if you're going speed of a bullet through something, it's not going to have a chance to get that.
What about this then? I mean, there's a lot. All right, even with gravity, we'll talk about gravity. What is gravity? We'll say, all right, but gravity, something it would bring you down. But that's interesting. Only if it's dense. If I take a balloon, you know what I mean? Gravity will bring it down. But if the balloon is lighter, you know what I mean, and less dense, it doesn't come down. It actually goes up. So gravity isn't just something that brings you down. It's also gravity is something that also brings you up.
Well, that's talking about the resistance of gravity. Not everything is subject to, if its density is less than the mass that's being pulled down from the gravitational pull, then it doesn't have, much like air. I can't pull air down because it doesn't have that kind of mass. It doesn't have that kind of density. So it's able, gravity isn't all encompassing. Gravity is a guideline and a boundary of what we can't actually define what its energy is. But
so
we know, much like Eric, if I take two magnets and if I put the magnets, a north pole and south pole together like that, but don't let them touch, we feel the pull, but yet they don't. We still don't let it come together. Why? Because I'm stronger than the amount of the magnetic pull that's being hit there. So now, of course, if you increase the electrostatic and magnetic attraction, you cause that magnet to have an even stronger bond to the point that I can't resist them from keeping apart. Now gravity wins. So everything's about how strong it is. Everything is about how strong it is.
So gravity brings you down? Is that what gravity is? So
no, it's saying gravity brings you together to something you're attracted to. Not down necessarily, but together.
Right. Because also, just as it can bring you down, it can also bring you up. You know?
Yeah, you can tell it. Absolutely. You turn it the other way, they push apart, right? So clearly, what it seems to be is that we are, to some degree, because we can't on our own volition create enough propulsion to consistently, I'm saying as a human, I can jump up, but I'm going to land back down. So something is pulling us with enough, which seems to be a guideline set naturally by God, if you believe, or by who someone designed it.
A human being dense. And anything on this planet, this is a physical planet, and it's about density. Energy is dense here. But once when you surpass the density, then it gets lighter. So it actually goes the opposite. That's like or let's say the Earth is spinning out, they say 2,000 miles per hour. Why aren't we all flying off the why aren't we flying off the planet? How am I can't even feel the 2,000 miles per hour. If that's the case, that doesn't make sense. Shouldn't we all be flying off the planet?
Well, we know that gravity holds us.
You know why though?
Because of gravity.
2,000 miles per hour. The Earth is spinning at 2,000 miles per hour, and we can't even feel it. We can't even tell. That's just a little weird.
It's strong gravity because we have very strong gravity.
That's a little interesting.
Yeah, well, we have very strong gravity.
All
right.
Is it though?
Well,
is it? I mean,
2,000 miles per hour. See, I would question that. Does that sound normal? If it wasn't for facts, or if that is a fact or a theory, scientists they were going.
Eric, we know that the Earth is spinning that fast, but Eric, we also too. I would expect you would have gone a different way. I would expect someone like you, esoteric, would have said that speed is relative to your dimensional existence or your plane of reality. For instance, right now, everything's all moving at that speed in a radius contained at that mile per hour, but our entire environment is moving with us. Therefore, we're not going to feel the effects of it so much. That's I thought you would go that way. Everything's spinning or going at, you're thinking in a straight line sense. That would make sense in a straight line. Hey, 2,000 miles, I should feel like I'm getting blown away. But it's circumduction. It's 360. So being pulled back is being pulled back at a 360-degree sense, which almost again equals zero because it's 360 degrees, not in a straight line that you're being pulled. So if everything is being pulled 360 degrees, it's like, Eric, I'm being launched in a rocket ship, and then boom, as I'm going up, my body feels that it's pulled. But if someone from the inside is pulling you already at 2,000 miles an hour, and the ship is going with you, everything is the same. You're not going to feel anything because you're already moving 2,000 miles an hour. So it's just thinking you're already in motion.
All right.
You're not moving from position.
Wait, hold on, guys. Okay, so some good points. I just want to keep rotating around here a little bit. So the one thing I was going to add into that. So some good points. I was just kind of realizing here. So here's another kind of idea that they were mentioning. So let's say even if the planet. Oh wait, can you see it? If the planet is totally it's not hollow. In the center, and it is full. It has a regular core like is traditionally said. Some of the other theories is that there are very like large, super large caverns all over. So it's like pockets, essentially all over. Now, when we say pocket, well, how big's a pocket? Once again, they could be 1,000 miles wide, 2,000 miles wide, or something like that. Whatever, no one really knows. And regarding the atmospheres inside of those sections, because then someone the first thing would be, well, then where's there any light? But as we see in once you go really far down, toward the bottom of the sea, or as far as we can go, we see that there's light creatures. There's fish that have their own lights on their heads and all this other stuff, including plant life and everything. So in other words, you could have life growing in a whole different way that we're not used to, that could be totally existing in there, that we just, that have no need to ever. In fact, they probably would never want to come to our surface, because that would probably be deadly for them, because, probably their skin and whatever wouldn't be able to, live on the surface. Or, in fact, maybe there's different gases down there that they could breathe that we can't. So, you know what I mean? It's just what it is. The only thing I was kind of thinking, though, which always makes me a little skeptical, though, is the hole that's apparently at the, I think they said there's either one, or there may be holes at both points, at both north and south.
Yeah,
and
I know. They one of them goes right through the barber shop that I have.
Right.
And it's a stripe, and it spins like a circle, and it says South Pole on one side and the other.
Right.
People for years and years.
Yeah, but hold on. Wait. Well, hold on. Let me say my point. Okay. My thing is this. I find that part a little bit harder to believe. Just because it makes me feel like I mean, put it like this. So far from what I've seen of all the other planets, none of the other planets have like huge holes for it, on both sides. And you would think that, yeah, once again, that could cause, problems with, whatever, physics and things like that. But here's the other thing, which, now once again, I think I'm 50-50 on the possibility of a hollow Earth. But I really don't think that so far, it doesn't make sense to me that there would be these holes at both ends or one end, because, I mean, yeah, like we say, there's, you can go on YouTube right now and see the Earth spinning live, and they pretty much show it from any single angle. Now you've got, satellites all over from every different angle. And I've seen the ones that like go right over Alaska or whatever it is and stuff, and I haven't seen any holes. Now, of course, first thing I think, maybe Eric would say, well, they're like photoshopping it or something. But I don't know. That doesn't, that's like, say, every single company that has their satellites have to agree to Photoshop out the holes. That, you know what I mean? Like that seems very unlikely. But what were you going to say, Eric? What's up?
You know how you said, like, or photoshopped, or there's always a conspiracy to everything.
Right.
This is a fact. I'm not making this up. This isn't even a conspiracy. You know pictures from Mars? Satellite pictures from Mars? You can ask NASA. You know they call it the red planet? The planet's not even red. They actually add that color to it. Now, the conspiracy is they add the color to hide certain things, because because other people been taking pictures from satellites, and hackers and all types of stuff, and they've been finding all types of, like, there's a picture, like pictures with guns and different even cars and stuff on Mars, but it hides a lot of the stuff on the atmosphere. So then one would ask, why do you guys add the red light to the pictures of Mars? They say, well, it adds it helps the colors so you can see it better or something, whatever. When actually it's not even true. It's actually, it makes it worse. That's kind of like when they're saying, like, well, why do you put fluoride in our water? Oh no, well, it's because fluoride's really good for your teeth. It's really good for the enamel on your teeth. And then you notice all that fluoride that no one's really I mean, most people aren't willingly saying it's okay to put that in our, like, they're just choosing and put it in all the water as much possible. That's why no one can really even drink really any good drinking water anymore. You know what I mean? And with the excuse that is good for your teeth, other than the facts show it's bad for everything. and even your teeth. And my thing is, with all the fluoride in the water, let's just say, all right, fine. The only good thing it does is actually helps with the enamel of your teeth, other than every other bad thing it does to you, you know? The thing is, then wouldn't everybody have good teeth by now?
Right. No, I get you. Right.
Everybody's still going to dentists. Everybody still got issues with their teeth. So I'm still wondering, like, it just doesn't really make sense. If I were to buy that, and that's good enough to accept, then I might as well accept everything else too. Then why not? Well,
I'm curious, Eric.
Why?
Thanks for watching this segment of the full episode to be posted Sunday afternoon. Much more to be discussed in the next part, so give this video a like, leave your comments for us to reply to in future episodes, and stay notified by hitting the subscribe button.